Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We're talking about the challenge we're facing with electricity distribution. As a matter of fact, consumption is also key here because you have a question or two concerning what is going on with your supply. We'll come to that hopefully as we progress. But let me get back to Mr. Kola Balogun, who is the chairman of MoMA's Electricity Meters Manufacturing Company. Mr. Balogun, what challenge do you face that you like the NERC to address in order for you to get your meters distributed?
The perception we have in setting up the factory is to, first of all, allow the country to grow in terms of technological acquisition, to have full knowledge about design of electricity meter, and to create employment. Because we have been predominantly import dependent since almost 15 years ago. Before I have a turning point that I need to set up a factory in order to create an employment. So every nation should have a policy in terms of protecting its own jurisdiction, in terms of what form of factory that we will create to create employment. That has been the major objective. The technology aspect of it is also part of the ingredients of setting up the factory. So we need NEC to protect us in terms of the fact that we have taken a bold step in order to showcase the country in terms of employment creation and technological growth.
Let me jump in.
The policy has to protect those ones first before we're not talking of the gain, the profit, or the benefit that is going to be applicable to each of the investors on the distribution channel.
Let me bring this in too before I get Dr. Amadi to respond. Do you think that you need direct access to the consumers, and why?
Can I get your question?
Do you think you need direct access to the consumers, and why?
Yes, we need. Can I get the question again?
Do you think you need direct access to the consumers, and why?
That would be the best way to address the shortfall on the metering aspect, because the consumer needs to buy the meter possibly directly from us or from a certified agencies, like agencies that are designed to certify meters. There is a body called EMS, which NEC has licensed to certify of the meter for the country, to standardize the meter for the country. And if such agency should buy the meter and send directly to consumer, it will leverage all the gaps we'll be having, because the right thing to do is to meter consumers. The consumers are deprived of meters, they are deprived of...
All right, we'll get that point. Let me get him to respond as well. Just hold on a minute.
And those are the three challenges consumers are facing.
All right, Mr. Balogun, we got that point. Just hold on a minute.
First of all,
just hang on. Dr. Amadi, why don't they have direct access to the consumers?
Because they are not supposed to have direct access. You see,
why?
Yeah, the answer is very simple. In the same way, transformer manufacturers should have direct access and install transformer. We had a public hearing a few days ago, and one of the suggestions somebody brought, seemingly smart, is why don't we vend meter like we vend anything else, like we vend Coca-Cola. So you have a shop, people go and buy the meter and install. Three problems. One, yes, NEC satisfies. We certify all meter importers, installers, manufacturers, and we allow them to get SOM certification and EMS meter testing certificates. On the basis of which we give them certificate to either import, manufacture, or install. The problem will be these meters are going to be built back into the network of the distribution company, including their vending platforms, installations. We talk about fire outbreak. Well, today they are complaining about cloning. So first, you have to standardize the meters properly and ensure that the stores or the outlets where these meters are sold, the same standard of meters will be sold across those outlets. I'll give you an example in Enugu, the disco. Around Obosi, Onisha, you could do a raid and see several types of meters that NEC did not license, because these things can be manufactured. And by the way, when people talk about local manufacture, what I actually mean is that the completely knocked down parts are imported. Some of the accessories are now locally manufactured. We are not yet manufacturing the membrane, if you like. So the point there is, first, a problem of standardization. Two, installation. If they buy from Momas, then the consumer will go to his own house and fix his meter and connect himself. Nowhere in the world that happens. It's true, he's right that we need to make sure that all consumers have meter, but that can be done by allowing DISCOs should more aggressively procure meter from them. I totally agree with them. There are problems that have made investment on the assumption that they're going to have a market, and they do have that market. Momas have been supplying meter to some DISCos, but the problem, the issue now is that the DISCos are becoming reluctant and saying, oh, yes, we need more smart. But our argument is, show us that those meters are not smart enough. And if smartness can be configured, adapted, so you can upgrade.
Have they been able to show you that?
No DISCO really has come forward. And the DISCO
because the impression people have is they're deliberately preventing consumers from getting meters so that they can keep charging estimated.
And that's why I said, and there's some fact about it. That's true. You see, as a regulator, you deal with problem. First problem is that when you make a rule and you now say the incentive is perverse, why are they not using methodology for estimation? Why are they not metering fast? And they say, with no finance, which is, by the way, true. What we did was to say, now, we are going to force you. How do we force you? We are going to touch your revenue. So if you do not meter within 4 months, as we're proposing now, or thereabout, you will be capped very low, lower than you would have earned through metering. So a regulator should be smart regulation. We're not going to be chasing everybody. Of course, this is, the meter manufacturers are a trade block. Don't forget, it's a trade block. They want to sell their meters. The DISCOs are also a trade block. They want to protect their revenue and ensure that they buy meter that's full. The regulator and the consumer just wants a meter that does not inflate his. The regulator should be smart enough to say what is pushing this, what's pushing this. So we are not going to tell. We've already given them the first gift. We say buy local manufactured meter except where there's no supply. The second move will now be, if you want to upgrade, show us the smartness you want, and they can provide it. But let me say this clearly. When we are doing this local content, IMF and the EU, we are stoutly opposed to us. We continue because they said we shouldn't, it would be in reason of trade, the whole argument about free trade and all that. But we knew the strategic importance of localizing technology.
Because they protect their market as
Absolutely.
well.
That's why we did it. But then we have to do it in a way that will protect consumers. For example, they are complaining that the meters, they're asking us for increases in the price of meters because foreign exchange has
okay,
so there are issues here.
And bring this part in. I hope we'll be able to go back to caller in the course of time because I'm also looking at the clock ticking away. One other aspect here is about, you spoke about DISCOs. They say there's a directive from NERC. DISCOs are now going to increase their tariff. Let's look at that slide now as it pops up. Well, for the Ikeja DISCO, the fixed monthly charge for residential R2 category, we understand is $750 at the moment in 2015, but it will be $900 in 2016, $1,080 in 2017, and $1,296 naira in 2018. That goes for DISCOs for Ikeja and Eko. But if you now flip to that of Benin, there's a slight difference for that one. For Benin, okay, almost the same thing for the Benin DISCO, where you see the price going from $750 to $1,296 in 2018. But if you now look at that of Ibadan, where in DISCOs like Ikeja, Eko, Benin are charging $750 2015 at the moment, that of Ibadan in 2015 for the residential R2 category at the moment is 625 naira. So there's that difference. If that difference also exists up till 2018. So while others will be taking the ones you see here, 1,296 naira fixed charge, Ibadan will be charging 1,080 naira. Then back here now, let's look at some people who are speaking about these charges and some of the challenges they've got.